Welcome to ABX Reviews. Introduction. Today's episode of iThonga was an emotional rollercoaster that had me on the edge of my seat. The Magwaza family faces their worst nightmare when a business dispute takes a very dark turn, forcing them to confront impossible choices. The tension was palpable from start to finish, weaving together multiple storylines about family, pressure, and the lengths people will go to for power and protection. Here are 10 different scenes from this powerful episode. Scene 1. Summary. The episode opens with the Magwaza family in a state of panic and despair. We learn that Sanil has been taken by a man named Gadla. The family is reeling, with one member expressing deep regret, saying they shouldn't have allowed Sanil to return home. The scene is filled with a sense of fear and helplessness. Scene analysis. This scene masterfully sets the tone for the entire episode. It immediately throws the viewer into the deep end of the family's crisis, creating a strong emotional hook and a sense of urgency that carries through the rest of the hour. Character motivation. The family's motivation is pure and simple: survival and protection. They are driven by a desperate need to get Sanil back safely, and this, in a quieter, calmer setting. A school principal sits with a young man who works multiple jobs. The principal learns the young man dropped out in grade 10 to work and care for his siblings after their parents died. The principal offers kindness and advice, suggesting he look into training programs for plumbing or construction, telling him that his current path could lead to trouble. Scene analysis. This scene provides a necessary and poignant contrast to the high-stakes drama of the main plot. It explores similar themes of struggle and limited options, but in a much more hopeful and grounded context, offering a glimpse of a positive mentor relationship. Character analysis. The principal is shown to be compassionate and observant, looking out for people in his community beyond the school walls. The young man is hardworking and resilient, carrying a heavy burden of responsibility at a young age. What deeper issues are being explored? This storyline tackles issues of poverty, educational inequality, and the cycle of disadvantage. It highlights how circumstances can force young people to abandon their education for survival, and the importance of guidance and second chances. Scene 5. Summary. The Magwaza family receives a phone call. It's Sanil. Gadla is with him and forces him to tell his family that he is okay. This brief, strained communication confirms Sanil's location is in Umbaza. This vital piece of information galvanizes the family into action, giving them a concrete lead to follow. My reaction to the scene. This was a huge relief and a major turning point. Hearing Sanil's voice, even under pressure, provided the first real hope in the episode. It shifted the dynamic from pure despair to having a clear, actionable goal. Is the story strong, confusing, predictable, surprising, etc.? This was a surprising and well-executed twist. Just as the family was at its lowest point, the narrative offered a lifeline. It was unpredictable that Gadla would allow the call, and it successfully raised the question of whether this was a strategic mistake on his part. What do I think will happen next? With the location known, I think the family will now race against time to find Sanil in Umbaza. This will likely put them on a direct collision course with Gadla and his associates, leading to a major confrontation. Scene 6. Summary. Lungelo, another son in the Magwaza family, is in a separate difficult situation. He speaks with his father, Magabadeli, after what seems to be a serious mistake. Lungelo argues that everyone makes errors and pleads for forgiveness, reminding his father that their family is supposed to lead with love. This softens Magabadeli's anger. Scene analysis. This scene adds another layer of complexity to the family dynamics. While one son is kidnapped, another is dealing with the fallout of his own poor decisions, showing that the family is being tested on multiple fronts simultaneously. How are the characters developing? Magabadeli, the father, is developing into a more nuanced figure. He is strict and disappointed, but his son's appeal to their family's core values visibly moves him, showing his capacity for mercy and love beneath a stern exterior. Lessons learned. The lesson here is about accountability and unconditional love within a family. Langelo learns to take responsibility for his actions, while Magabadelli is reminded that leadership and discipline must be balanced with compassion and forgiveness. Scene 7. Summary. Sanil's mother, in a moment of raw vulnerability, declares that she is willing to give Gadler everything he wants. She says she will sign the tender over and, if necessary, start her life completely from scratch. Her only condition is that it brings her son home safely. Character motivation. Her motivation is purely the love for her child. Business, money, and status become instantly meaningless when weighed against her son's life. This is a powerful depiction of a parent's ultimate sacrifice. My reaction to the scene. This was the most heartbreaking moment of the episode. It showcased a mother's love in its most powerful form. It made me wonder what I would do in the same impossible position, trapped between protecting a legacy and saving a loved one. What deeper issues are being explored? This scene delves deep into the theme of sacrifice. It questions the true cost of success and what we are willing to give up when faced with the potential loss of what matters most, our family. Scene 8. Summary. Nduduzi and others are actively investigating. They report that they have spoken to many people, but no one has seen Gadler's car. They strongly believe that people are being dishonest and that the local authorities have been compromised, leaving the family to handle the situation on their own. Betrayal. There is a strong sense of betrayal in this scene, not by a person, but by the systems the family should be able to rely on. The feeling that the community is not helping and that the authorities cannot be trusted deepens their isolation. Character analysis. Nduduzi is positioned as the pragmatic investigator of the family. He is proactive, skeptical, and understands that they cannot wait for external help, establishing him as a key problem solver in this crisis. What do I think will happen next? Since the family believes they are on their own, I think they will launch their own plan to rescue Sanil. This will likely involve tracking him down in Umbaza themselves, leading to a high-risk operation without any official backup. Scene 9. Summary. A powerful figure named Mpangazitha confronts Gadler. He is furious that Gadler took such a significant action, kidnapping a respected community member, without his approval. He sees it as a major sign of disrespect and a challenge to his authority, making it clear that Gadler has overstepped. Scene analysis. This scene introduces a game-changing dynamic to the conflict. The primary antagonist, Gadler, is now in trouble himself. It reveals a hierarchy and internal rules within the world of the story, creating a new source of conflict that could work in the Magwaza family's favor. Is the story strong, confusing, predictable, surprising, etc.? This was a brilliant and surprising development. It subverts the expectation of a simple family versus kidnapper plot by introducing a more powerful third party. This makes the narrative much stronger and more unpredictable. What do I think will happen next? I believe Mpangazitha's anger will create an opportunity for the Magwaza family. Gadler will now be distracted and under pressure from his own side, potentially creating a weakness that the family can exploit to rescue Sanil. Scene 10. Summary. The episode ends with Mpangazitha apologizing to Mr. Magwaza, Sanil's father. He assures him that an incident like this will never happen again as long as he is around. This suggests a shift in power and a potential resolution, but Sanil's fate at this moment remains unknown. Scene analysis. This final scene provides a glimmer of hope and justice. It suggests that Gadler's reckless actions have backfired and that there is a code of conduct even in this dark world. It leaves the viewer with a sense that the situation is turning, but the ultimate outcome is still pending. How do the characters impact the story? Mpangazitha, though part of the criminal world, acts as an unexpected agent of order. His intervention completely changes the story's trajectory, showing that the antagonists are not a unified front and that their internal conflicts can have dramatic consequences. What deeper issues are being explored? This scene interestingly touches on the concept of justice and order. It suggests that even outside the official law, there are consequences for actions, and that disrespect and overreach are punished, adding a complex moral layer to the story.